Welcome to the PCS Adventures Educator Spotlight Series. In today's sponsored feature story, we're exploring how young engineers are taking on natural disasters by designing, building, and testing. Atlanta STEAM teacher Akila Williams shares how she's using the Build a Better World program by PCS Adventures and transforming her classroom into a lab of innovation. Just tell me first, Akila, what drew you to this specific PCS program? And today we're talking about Build a Better World.
I am actually not the one who selected this program. This program was sent to us by our district STEM coordinator. We just got some boxes one day, and like 2 weeks later, she was like, yeah, so those boxes are for this. So it's not that I wasn't drawn, but I just wasn't the one who selected it. It was given to us. The rest of our STEM teacher group, we talked about how to use it and things like that. So what excited me about it once I got the boxes was I came from a fifth grade classroom, and I immediately was like, oh, this is fifth grade. I will be doing this with my fifth grade class for sure.
Tell me about your experience. Were you able to, I know you didn't pick it, so did you do all the unpacking and everything too? Like, was it fresh out of the box?
I got 2 huge boxes. My magnet lead brought them to me, and she was like, hey, these boxes are for you. And I was like, what? And she had no idea what they were. So I opened it up. I saw the yellow tops, and I was like, picked it up. It's super heavy. I'm like, what is this? I'm super excited because I'm like, yes, materials. And I opened it up to see just so many things. And if I could show you my classroom, and I'm sure the videos will show, there's a lot of stuff in my room. I spent a couple of years collecting things. There were some things that already lived here. So I first was like, where am I gonna put all of this? I don't know what to do with these things. But then on top was the booklet. I immediately opened that up, saw, what it was about. I flipped through a couple of the lessons, and I was like, okay, it's paper, it's cotton balls. These are materials that I typically already have in my STEAM lab, just kind of randomly. And so it was kind of like, okay, well, I really felt compelled to like take it all out and organize it with the stuff that I already have. But once I realized how intricate and how specific the lessons were, I was like, no, I'm going to keep them here. So I know that this is PCS materials. And then at the end of the year, I'll go back and rearrange them, reorganize them, and maybe group them according to whatever lessons I'm doing.
That's awesome. I would do the same. I would have the tendency to want to just put all the cotton balls with the cotton balls and organize. I get that. Exactly. So fun. And okay, so tell me, once you did dive in to teaching this program, what was your experience?
It wasn't until we got to the actual content. So we also did the research for the natural disasters for this unit. And they were actually excited about the research. Of course, there's some reading integration. And next year moving forward, I will definitely see if I can sit with the reading teacher and say, hey, can I work with you to have them do this research for this topic? Because they were excited about what they were looking at, what they were seeing. We even got on Google to add to what was given in the disaster cards, and they made posters. And they were excited about what we're going to research. The space disasters is what everybody was excited about for the most part. The aha moment, though, came actually just maybe 2 weeks ago. We did the levees lesson. And I couple what I'm doing with the students in PCS Adventures with some science materials and resources that they use in their science classroom. So one of them is called Gizmo. It's a virtual digital simulation lab. And students were able to make sense of the impact of levees and using them, and then just other structures that people use to resist or to mitigate flood damage. That was really exciting to see them, put 2 and 2 together to say that, oh, all of this combined can help mitigate flood damage. One of my other ones, we did the earthquake. I taught students like some hand signs to remember the shake tables, and the students really, they can explain to you, and they can show me, what tectonic plates are doing when earthquakes occur. Haven't yet. I found a couple of real world news articles about earthquakes, and I'm thinking that including those, because I only have about 30 minutes with the students, so including those and maybe again partnering with the reading teacher might help them to make some more connections. But honestly, the biggest takeaway that I think students are getting is just the hands-on investigation, learning about these concepts by building, by doing, by creating.
That's awesome. And were there any peer teaching moments? Did you have them do any collaborations together, any teamwork as far as, I know that the very last assignment of that program is to build a better world, something that is more structurally sound. Did they end up doing that?
So no, next week we will be doing the glitter NATO. So we're just on that unit right now. They do work in groups. So like I said, last week and this week is when we started the levies, and they work in groups. So that is some of the most peer collaboration. We take about 2 or so minutes to try to draw out what we want to design. Even for the shake tables, they had to draw out the kind of structure that they wanted to put on top of their shake table. Is it all triangles? Is it squares? Like, what are you doing to build it out? And that has been where the collaboration has come. They have not yet presented. My initial presentation was going to be for them to present about the natural disasters that they researched. We ran out of time. I wanted to keep pushing through to this unit. So what I am thinking is, like you said, for this last lesson in this unit, for them to take and it's my goal, but for them to take some time to discuss all of the things that they've learned and how they apply that to their final build.
That's perfect. And that leads me to my next question. So what are some of those lifelong skills that they are developing with a program such as this one?
For my students, I believe because we haven't always used science as this tactile, hands-on, kinesthetic way of learning, what they are seeing is that they can learn a lot when they do. They can speak, they build that confidence to say, I actually do know this because I experienced it. Sometimes I feel like students can lack confidence when they just read about something, or when their teacher tells them something and they do a practice problem because, well, I didn't do it. I didn't write this, or maybe I struggled reading. They don't have to struggle with reading in this program. They just do. And there's been no right or wrong answer. You just do. And that gives them the confidence to say that I do know something, I can do a lot, and I can speak to what I have learned. Students are able to come away from these builds and say, this shape worked better with my structure because of blank. Whereas if I were to give them that same question, from a regular science lesson, they wouldn't be able to make that mind-body connection that this program gives them.
Before we started recording, we were talking about how busy educators are, right? I know you are swamped. What advice would you give to other teachers out there that are trying to integrate more STEM into the classroom, especially if they don't have a dedicated STEM or STEAM teacher like yourself?
So one, find a partner like PCS Edventures. Find people who have put together the programming, because making lesson plans is already hard. But making project-based lesson plans, that's your summer. Like, that's the whole summer. We're not going on vacation. If I'm on vacation, my computer's in my lap on the beach, and I'm thinking about how the ocean waves has something to do with pollution. I'm putting it all together because the projects, they are they're very integrated. They're very intense, primarily because you do have to figure out what resources are going to work best. You do have to figure out how to guide students thinking from that initial exploration to the investigation, to that final assessment. Like, how do I make sure that they're thinking along the lines that I want them to be able to think to get to the answer of this assessment question? That just takes a lot of thinking. I would encourage teachers to find a thought partner, because oftentimes I know I find myself thinking, and I've worked out this entire unit plan, and then I get to implement it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, I need to think about that. Okay. And that's really great, because that's what we do in, STEAM and STEM design anyways, is we reiterate, we go back and re-improve. But if I could have, thought about this beforehand, I could be improving something totally different. Get that thought partner, get people who think, on that level. I think teaching has been isolated. We've been taught to teach just, that one subject, that sometimes it can be hard to consider really how things can integrate. But if you have that idea, go for it. That's really my biggest push to teachers who are getting started. Go for it. It's not going to work out flawlessly the first time. I'm currently, using PCS Adventures, and they have it laid out. I still run out of time. I still, miss a resource here or there. Like I said, we've done levees today, and I did not think that once the kids pour the water into the bin, the water has to go somewhere. I don't. So it's just 6 buckets of water sitting over here. Be prepared to plan in depth. Get somebody to support you, but go for it. Write that plan. Get somebody to look at it, and just go for it. Build the plane as you fly.
That's fun. And it's even better when science can be taken outside, right? Take those buckets of water outside. So what has been, this last question, what has been your favorite part of this program? And is there anything else you'd like to share? Any other details?
My favorite part has honestly just been them being excited. And they are generally excited about the materials because, again, my students don't typically get to see these materials on such a consistent basis. We're doing this every week. Every week, they know that when they come to the STEAM lab, they're going to be designing something. Students being able to take control of how they learn the information is really exciting. Like, for example, the sturdy structures where they had to build the shake table, I didn't give them any real guidance. We kind of got to the sturdy structures the initial lesson, but not really. We've done it before. We've done building tall towers before. So I was like, okay, well, they should be able to take something with them. They were creating shapes for their structures that I had not taught them. They found out that this was better. This was a better thing to do without me any prompting. So it let me know that what I say, and I say this about students all the time, regardless of what grade level, kindergarten, pre-K, 12th grade, college, every student has some knowledge. And I tell them that all the time. Use what you do know, and that's where those synapses will connect to say, okay, what I didn't know before, I now can connect to what I do know. I can make some changes mentally. And, of course, the students they're not saying this, but their brain is doing the work to say, okay, this was good information. I did know this. Oh, I didn't know this, but this connects to that. And I think for me, I've been able to see them do that by just allowing them to design, allowing them to come up with their own ideas for the landslides one, allowing them to just ask questions and be quirky about it. Like when we did the landslides, the materials didn't work how we thought. Typically, that's not even something that we see in class where students like, I was going to do this thing and it didn't work out. In my school, students aren't doing the thing in the first place. So the fact that they are doing it and then they're saying to themselves, well, I had this initial idea. It did not happen the way that I thought it was going to happen. I wonder if I can change something. That's the kind of thought process that I believe students should be going through. And that is what I've been able to see as students take on these challenges, because even in the books, and bless these books, because I'm telling you, I was so confused when I opened the book because it doesn't even tell teachers how to tell students what to do. Like you got the initial setup, but then the rest of it is open. It could be any answer. Like for the levee design, I'm thinking that it's going to at least say, consider putting the popsicles here and, do this one. No, PCS does not give that, because I think even as a teacher, I need to be challenged. I need to be given the space to say, you think of your own design. Don't put yourself and your thought in a box to, oh, well, this is how it has to be done. No, PCS is like everybody's thinking. The teacher's thinking, you're learning with the students. And I think that's my favorite part of STEAM in general, STEAM instruction in general. But the way that PCS has really structured this to say, hey, teachers, you're learning along with your students. This is how you get started. Go for it. I think that is the encouragement that all teachers need with regards to STEM. Go for it. Get your little setup, get together, and go for it. Your students will thank you for not giving them the answer or telling them this is it. Your students will thank you even more when they see that you don't know. I don't know what to tell you about why it's still flooding, but let's talk it out. And so those have been the moments that I've absolutely enjoyed, is having to show my students that, listen, I'm just as human as you are. We're going to work through this together. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, and we'll learn from that too.
I don't have any other questions for you. Do you have anything else to add?
I do. I want to add and encourage, and I don't know if this is a PCS answer or, suggestion, or if this is just a suggestion to all teachers, but definitely make some student-facing guidance. I really had to teach them this is what a levee is, this is what it looks like. So I think that is definitely one thing that I've had to kind of make sure that I include is, okay, let me give a little bit more than what I'm seeing in the PCS book, just so my students can have a little bit more to juggle with, versus, because in the PCS book they give you the paragraph and we read through the paragraph, we read through that information. But for those visual learners, giving them something to see, giving a video or something like that, I would definitely encourage to make that guide so it kind of runs smoothly for you and your students.
Yeah, and I will definitely pass on suggestions like that to our product development team. That's another benefit in doing these feature stories, like what we're doing, is we can not only gather your story, but then we can take feedback after you've experienced it hands-on, forward that to the guys and gals that are developing these, and we can just continually improve our program. So thank you for that.
Big thanks to Akila for taking the time to chat with us and share how she's using the Build a Better World program. To listen to more stories from educators like you, visit edventures.com/spotlight. That's EDVENTURES.com/spotlight.